What if our moon were replaced by another planet? Imagine looking up at a giant Venus, Mars or Jupiter lighting up the night sky. How would this change our tides, climate and seasons? In this video, we'll explore the mind-bending effects of such a cosmic shift. The moon plays a critical role in maintaining the delicate balance that supports life on Earth. It controls the tides, stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, and even helps regulate the length of our days. If any other planet replaced the moon, the consequences would be severe and far-reaching. From the gentle pull of the tides to the stability of Earth's seasons, the moon's influence on our planet is far more significant than many of us realize. So let's explore what might happen if each of the planets in our solar system were to take the moon's place. Let's start with Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system. Mercury is about 2/5 the size of the Earth and only slightly larger than the moon. If it replaced the moon, you might not notice a huge difference right away. However, nights would be brighter. Mercury reflects more sunlight than moon, which means the sky wouldn't be quite as dark during nighttime. The stars might seem a little dimmer, and the serene darkness of the night would be interrupted by Mercury's glow. Mercury's size and mass would cause high tides than what we experience with the moon. While the changes wouldn't be catastrophic, the tides would become more extreme. With higher high tides and lower low tides, life along coastlines would need to adapt, but it's likely that these shifts wouldn't threaten the very existence of life on Earth. However, the rhythm of the lunar cycle would change. Since Mercury orbits faster than the moon, our months would become shorter, and natural patterns like animal behavior, plant cycles, and even human activities that depend on the lunar calendar would be thrown off balance. Now imagine if Venus took the moon's place in the night sky. Often called Earth's sister planet, Venus is similar in size and mass to our planet, but the impact of its presence would be dramatic. If it replaced the moon, the nights would be incredibly bright. Venus reflects 6 times more sunlight than the moon, turning the darkness into something closer to twilight. The stars would almost vanish in this overwhelming brightness, and the peaceful nights we know would become a distant memory. However, the brightness would be the least of our worries. Venus is much more massive than the moon, and its gravitational pull would be significantly stronger. Earth and Venus wouldn't have the simple relationship we have with the moon. Instead, both planets would orbit around a common center of mass, creating a gravitational tug-of-war that could lead to disastrous effects on Earth's orbit and environment. The strong gravitational pull from Venus could cause massive tidal waves, far larger than anything we've seen before. Coastline cities around the world would face constant flooding, and low-lying areas could become uninhabitable. People living near coastlines would find their homes at risk, leading to significant displacement and loss of property. Over time, the gravitational stress from Venus could also affect Earth's tilt, throwing our seasons into chaos. Have you ever wondered what would happen if our seasons were turned upside down? The stable seasons that are essential for agriculture and natural cycles would become unpredictable, leading to extreme climate shifts. Crops could fail, and ecosystems might collapse as temperatures fluctuate wildly, with the orbits of Earth and Venus potentially becoming unstable. A collision between the two planets could even become a terrifying possibility. In short, if Venus replaced the moon, it would spell doom for life as we know it, transforming our planet in ways we can hardly imagine. Mars is a much more familiar neighbor. If the red planet replaced the moon, it would immediately stand out in the night sky. Its reddish glow would be unmistakable, and Mars's large size, about twice that of the moon, would make it a prominent feature. You wouldn't need a telescope to see details like its massive volcanoes and canyons. However, Mars's gravitational influence would be far stronger than the moon's. The tides would rise to unprecedented heights, and massive waves would constantly crash against the coastlines. Entire cities could be wiped out by these relentless tidal surges. The extreme tidal forces would also likely cause shifts in Earth's axial tilt, leading to unpredictable and extreme seasonal changes. Summers could become unbearably hot, while winters might plunge us into ice ages. The stability that the moon provides to Earth's climate would be lost. Mars is also large enough that Earth's orbit could be affected. Over time, the gravitational relationship between Earth and Mars could push Earth closer to or farther from the Sun, drastically altering our climate. Mars in the moon's place would create a world of unpredictable, dangerous forces that could threaten the survival of life on Earth. Now imagine, how would it be if the moon is replaced with the largest planet in the solar system? The sight of Jupiter taking the place of the moon would be awe-inspiring. Jupiter is so massive that it would fill much of the sky. You could see its swirling clouds and colorful bands with the naked eye. and its famous Great Red Spot, a storm larger than Earth, would be a constant feature in the heavens. But as breathtaking as it would be, Jupiter's gravity would destroy Earth. Jupiter is 318 times more massive than Earth, and its gravitational pull would immediately overwhelm our planet. Earth would no longer be an independent planet. It would become one of Jupiter's moons. The intense gravitational forces would cause massive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis that would ravage the planet. The Earth's crust would be stretched and pulled to the breaking point, and within a day, Earth would likely be torn apart by Jupiter's gravity. The remains of our planet would either crash into Jupiter or be flung out into space. Replacing the moon with Jupiter would end all life on Earth in an instant. Saturn, with its stunning rings, would be a beautiful but deadly replacement for the moon. In the sky, Saturn would appear enormous, and its rings would stretch across the horizon, creating a spectacle unlike anything we've ever seen. But this beauty comes with a price. Saturn is more than 35 times larger than the moon, and its gravitational pull would be disastrous for Earth. As with Jupiter, Earth would be pulled into Saturn's orbit and become just another of its many moons. The intense gravitational forces would cause massive tectonic shifts, triggering earthquakes and volcanic eruptions across the planet. Earth's surface would be ripped apart. Now, what about the ice giants? Uranus and Neptune are much farther from the Sun than Earth, but if either of them took the moon's place, the effects would be just as devastating. Both planets are significantly larger than Earth, and their gravitational influence would cause massive disruptions. Tides would become thousands of times more powerful than those caused by the moon, flooding entire continents. The gravitational pull of Uranus or Neptune would also lead to increased seismic activity. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions would become common as the planet's crust would struggle to cope with the intense forces pulling it in different directions. The atmosphere would likely become unstable, and Earth's climate would spiral into chaos. Though Uranus and Neptune are beautiful, their presence in our sky would spell disaster for life on Earth. Finally, what if the Sun replaced the moon? The Sun is about 400 times wider than the moon, and if it were as close to Earth as the moon, the consequences would be immediate and deadly. The intense heat and radiation from the Sun would vaporize Earth's atmosphere in seconds. The oceans would boil away, and the surface of the planet would be scorched beyond recognition. All life would be wiped out instantly, and Earth would be reduced to a lifeless shard rock. Through this thought experiment, it's clear that Earth's relationship with the moon is perfectly balanced. The moon's size, distance, and gravitational pull are just right to maintain the stability of Earth's climate, tides, and axial tilt. Replacing the moon with any other planet would throw this balance into chaos, with devastating consequences for life on Earth. It's clear that no other planet could fill the moon's role. So next time you gaze up at the moon, take a moment to appreciate just how lucky we are to have it. It's more than a beautiful sight. It's the silent guardian that keeps life on Earth stable and thriving. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We will see you guys next time.